guys, welcome back. It's your skincare fairy godmother, Mama Random, and today we're going to be talking about how to fade acne scars, specifically post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation and post-inflammatory erythema. I'm going to help you identify which one of the two you have because they're very easily mistaken sometimes. And of course, I'm then going to give you some of my favorite product recommendations that help me into fading these two. So starting with PIE, which is actually the one that I have most commonly. I also get PIH, of course. And this is very easy to identify. Usually it presents itself in a very superficial red dot or mark. This is because these marks are caused due to an inflammatory reaction. That means that the blood vessels or the really small capillaries that you have are going to be broken, and therefore a little blood or irritation comes out. They're also going to be most commonly visible for people with lighter skin tones, so like Caucasians, for example, me, hi. But that is not to say that POCs can't get PIE, because they definitely can. PIE can be caused by overexfoliation, chemical burns, sunburns, picking at your skin most likely. PIH instead, or post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, is exactly that. Too much pigmentation on one specific spot. And that is once again caused by an inflammatory reaction after the pimple is gone. Every kind of ethnicity and every kind of skin tone actually has melanin. Some skin tones, of course, are going to be richer in that melanin, like for example POCs compared to Caucasians, right? And that is why PIH is actually a lot more common to happen in people with darker skin tones. But that is once again not to say that it can't happen to Caucasians, because it happened to me. It can happen to both. This can be caused by a chemical peel, chemical burn, sunburn, laser therapy, microdermabrasion, or also once again popping at your pimple. So I know that it might be confusing to distinguish one or the other because they do look very similar, but a very simple experiment you could do to tell which one of the two it is, it's actually getting a glass, plopping it on your skin with a little bit of pressure, and then watch and see if these spots go away. Then it's actually going to be PIE, because that is because again the redness is because of the irritation caused by the blood vessels. If instead it remains, then it's actually going to be PIH, because it literally is a problem of pigmentation. So now that we finally know correctly which one of the two we have, we're finally going to get into the ways to get rid of it, and there's skincare products and ingredients that are going to be best for each one of the two. Now I want to remind you guys, this is not going to be an overnight treatment, okay? This is going to take still months, like 3 to 4 months, but you are going to get there, and with the help of skincare, definitely you're going to speed up the process. So starting with PIH, my first advice is going to be, of course, avoid the sun. But this is literally an advice I give to everyone, speaking about everything. Like, you're having relationship problems, avoid the sun. Having money problems, avoid the sun. Now getting serious and down to business, my favorite ingredients to fade PIH is actually going to be vitamin C, because not only is it amazing and anti-aging, because it's actually going to protect your collagen from free radicals and environmental stress and damage, but it also, on the other side, is going to brighten your skin tone, evening out the skin, reducing those dark spots, as well as boosting up your SPF protection. So it really does everything. But before you run off to buy the first vitamin C serum that you find, please sit down, honey, because vitamin C is a little bit of a BICTH, because she is very hard to stabilize. So really it can be challenging to find a vitamin C that actually works, but thank God I'm here to help. I want to start off with two products specifically from one brand that I love, which is why I have it right here in the back with my favorite skincare products, and that is going to be Banish Acne Scars. This brand literally is focused on fading acne scars. I literally love them. I use their products on the daily. I also did a sponsored video with them, and this is why I'm an ambassador with Banish, because I really believe in their products. So the first is going to be the Banish oil. Even though it's called an oil, it's not an oil. This is actually a vitamin C serum with 99% pure grade L-ascorbic acid. L-ascorbic acid is the most powerful form of a vitamin C, but also the most unstable. This is why it's very crucial to stabilize it, and Banish did that amazingly by adding vitamin E. The fact that this is 99% also, it's going to give you like insane quick results. But the downside with strong vitamin C's like this one is that usually they're quite irritating. Like for example, The Ordinary's vitamin C in a 22 suspension. Oh my god, it burned my skin so badly. This one instead, none of that. It does have a little bit of an oily consistency. This is why it's called an oil, but really it won't break you out. It won't clog your pores. Banish is again a brand specifically focused to treating acne scars and treating people with oily skin generally, so they wouldn't formulate a product that would break out your skin, of course. I actually use this every morning in my skincare routine as the last step of my serums before going in with the moisturizer, and it literally gives me such an amazing glow and moisturization. I love it. The next vitamin C from Banish, which is also just as great, is the Banish Vitamin C Cream. Now this is actually doubles as a vitamin C and a moisturizer because of its very thick, very juicy consistency that you can see right here. And again, I really love this because it has two types of vitamin C's, the pure form and a derivative, but this one has so many other nourishing ingredients. This also once again contains vitamin E. So again, it is gonna be stabilized. It is gonna be great, one of those. This also contains aloe vera gel, just like the banish oil. So aloe vera is really gonna soothe the redness, the inflammation, again, which is definitely what we're looking for here. And it also contains rosehip oil, which actually contains linoleic acid naturally, which is another ingredient that is gonna get rid of the acne. It's gonna reduce that acne. So really, this is just a bomb product that I really love. Sometimes when I wanna be really bougie and extra, I actually pair these two bad boys together to give me the ultimate boost and punch of vitamin C, especially when I'm going through like a post-breakout. When I get a lot of these PEs and sometimes PAH, this is gonna be amazing. I wanna say, guys, when it comes to vitamin C's, I tend to recommend the more expensive ones because with vitamin C, truly you get what you pay for. It is very expensive to stabilize them. Try, for example, SkinCeuticals, that is the OG of vitamin C's. And so even though I don't want to recommend something as expensive as that, I definitely want to recommend something that is a little bit lower of a budget but still works just as good. So anyways, if you want them, you can use my ambassador code, which is going to be down below in the description box. But moving on to the other products. My next favorite ingredient is going to be AHAs for PIH. So that is going to be lactic acid, it is gonna be glycolic acid, mandelic acid. Starting with the strongest one, which is actually glycolic acid. The only one that I love and that my skin can tolerate is the Naturium glycolic acid 10% gelée. It is super moisturizing, super effective, and it doesn't sting that much compared to other toners that I have tried, like for example, the ordinary glycolic acid toner in a 7%. That gave me quite the chemical burn, which then resulted in having more PIH. Moving on to the second most effective AHA, that is gonna be lactic acid. Once again, love it. And that is going to be the ordinary lactic acid on a 5 or 10%. If you're a beginner, start with the 5 and then build up to the 10. And of course, the Inculus lactic acid. They're both amazing formulas. I would not be able to choose one or the other, but really AHAs work so well because they actually exfoliate the top dead layer of the skin and actually help rejuvenate the skin cells, the new baby born ones, and get them to the surface a lot faster. The new baby born cells are not going to have that kind of inflammation and that kind of overpigmentation. Lastly, I also love the mandelic acid by Naturium. Mandelic acid is the most gentle out of the three, but mandelic is an amazing option for anyone who can't tolerate the glycolic acid or the lactic acid. If you can't get Naturium in your country, then the ordinary's mandelic acid is just as lovely. Lastly, the gold standard when it comes to skincare, it is gonna be retinol. Retinol is just the answer to anything. Are you having problems in your relationships? Apply a little bit of retinol. Are you having problems of money? Again, apply a little bit of retinol. Do you have an irritable bowel? Apply a little bit of retinol and everything is gonna be fixed. No, but seriously, retinols are amazing because they're really gonna speed up the cell turnover rate, and in that case, just like AHAs, they're gonna exfoliate the top layers of the skin and get rid of those inflamed hyperpigmented cells, revealing new, baby fresh, nice skin cells. Ones that I love are the Indeed Labs retinol. I also love the Paula's Choice retinol, the CeraVe retinol, or also if you want the most effective one, then actually of course tretinoin. I use the Dermatica tretinoin because you can't get it if you don't have a prescription here in the UK. But if you live in the US, you can also get adapalene, which is another version of a prescription retinoid, and that you can get over the counter. The La Roche-Posay adapalene is also amazing, so get that one. And lastly, a little bit of a newcomer or the little baby sister of niacinamide. It's gonna be alpha arbutin. Now this ingredient is great because it's actually gonna inhibit the excess production of melanin and the pigmentation that gives our hyperpigmentation. So it's really gonna tackle the problem at the issue and at the core. If you don't like niacinamide because it does break you out, I know that niacinamide is literally contained in basically every skincare product, so I do not like to supplement it with another dedicated niacinamide serum. I love the Ordinary's alpha arbutin. It's super moisturizing. It also contains hyaluronic acid, which is very plumping and nourishing. Or also love the Naturium alpha arbutin, both the essence and the serum. But really, if you're struggling with pigmentation, if you're not using alpha arbutin, you need to get on it ASAP. Now finally, moving on to PIE, which is actually my favorite because, you know, it's really been a game changer for me. I used to have so many red dots, as you can see right here, and now I think I'm a lot more smoother, like I have way less. It's looking a lot more even in skin tone, and I'm very proud of this transformation. So the first ingredient I recommend is azelaic acid, because azelaic acid is very soothing. It's actually prescribed for people with rosacea. It's going to reduce all the redness in the skin, and PIE again is caused by redness of the blood vessels that are broken. So really, this is going to be the best. One that I love is of course the azelaic acid by Naturium. What's new here? I really think that this is effective effective, it's very moisturizing, and I prefer it a lot more than The Ordinary's azelaic acid, which is also one of my favorites, because The Ordinary, even though it works amazingly, it has a kind of a grainy consistency, and it can be irritating and a little bit unpleasant, and also drying on the skin, especially in the winter time. So I would prefer this one, or also the Paula's Choice azelaic acid that actually has a creamy, very moisturizing consistency. The one that I prefer the most is the Paula's Choice, I would say. By the way, azelaic acid, even if you don't have PIE, because the redness caused by acne and the pimples are also gonna get better if you use azelaic acid. Moving on to the next ingredient, which I think is also just as underrated as alpha-arbutin and azelaic acid, is gonna be tranexamic acid. Now, there's not a lot of research backing up that it actually gets rid of PIE, but in my experience and in the experience of a lot of other skin influencers and also just like my friends in real life, we have seen that tranexamic acid does work amazingly for the red spots. So the tranexamic acid by Naturium in a 5% is amazing. I love it. I also love the Inculist tranexamic acid. The Naturium one is definitely in a serum, very liquidy form. The Inculist ones instead is going to be a lot more jellier consistency. I would not be able to pick one of their two in efficacy or in the consistency and experience in general. And lastly, yes, okay, I am going to include it in this video to make you guys happy. It's going to be niacinamide, everyone's favorite, the skincare ingredient of 2020. It's very skin strengthening. It will strengthen your skin, the skin barrier. It will make your skin a lot more even in tone, give you more glow, and just a lot more brighter. So I really do love it as an ingredient. If you do want a dedicated serum, the Paula's Choice niacinamide or the Naturium niacinamide or the Inculus niacinamide are gonna be your best bets. We love them. Well, I don't love them, but you maybe are gonna like them. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this video and you actually found it helpful. I really hope that after this, you're gonna be able to tackle your hyperpigmentation, whatever it might be, PIH or PIE. And of course, if you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe and turn the bell icon so you don't miss any more uploads, because sis, let me tell you, we're literally all about getting your skin routine down to G and getting rid of any skin issues that you might have, whatever they might be. If this sounds like your thing, make sure you join because I'd love to have you here. You can also follow me on my Instagram and on my TikTok, both are random because there's a lot more skincare that you won't see here that you are gonna see over there, and we can just further on deepen the bond that I feel between us going on. Excuse me, what do you think you're doing? You're not clicking on this video. What you need to do is click whatever of these two videos are here, just as informative, informational, whatever it is you. But while you're doing that, remember to be random and always be random.